another TED Talks video. Yeah, I wanted to get through, like, there's 50 of them above here, and so I thought I'd slowly but surely wipe through these things. This one's only 3 minutes and 51 seconds, which is a little bizarre, right? So, maybe we'll do 2 of them. I don't know, but anyway, let's get to it. Philosophy in prison. Yeah, I don't know. Sounds a little fucked up. Philosophy in prison. And now we have to go with the applause, blah, blah, blah. You know, try it. Maybe I'll zoom through this shit the next time or something. Turn the sound on or off.
Meet Tony. He's my student. He's about my age, and he's in San Quentin State Prison. When Tony was 16 years old, one day, one moment, was Mom's gun just flat.
I thought it was a federal prison, actually. But anyway, San Quentin's kind of famous.
Actually, scare the guy. He's a punk. He took some money. We'll take his money. That'll teach him. And last minute, I'm thinking, can't do this. This is wrong. My buddy says, come on, let's do this. I say...
Oh, please, with the drama. Yeah, oh, geez. Let's all be empathetic for the poor criminals. Yeah. No.
Let's do this. And those 3 words Tony's going to remember. Because the next thing he knows, he hears the pop. There's the punk on the ground, puddle of blood. And that's felony murder. 25 to life, parole at 50 if you're lucky. And Tony's not feeling very lucky. So when we meet in my philosophy class in his prison, and I say, in this class, we will discuss the foundations of ethics. Tony interrupts me.
Whatever. Yeah, whatever. I mean, this is all, whatever. Yeah, human beings should be encouraged not to commit crimes. I mean, I guess they should do that through some sort of philosophy before they get into prison, not after they get into prison. Some sort of serious social agenda that might say, you know, we're not going to sit there and trivialize, you know, all crimes by calling things that aren't a crime a crime. Maybe we ought to get serious about how we define a crime. Yeah.
What are you going to teach me about right and wrong? I know what is wrong. I have done wrong. I am told every day, by every face I see, every wall I face, that I am wrong. If I ever get out of here, there will always be a mark by my name. I'm a convict. I am branded wrong. What are you?
Yeah, well, and the guy who's dead is rotting. So, I mean, realistically, yeah. And so maybe we should just give you the easy out and just say, yeah, well, you want to kill yourself or be in prison. Yeah. Give you the choice. And then you won't have anything to complain about there. Robbie, or whatever the fuck your name was.
You're going to tell me about right and wrong. So I say to Tony, sorry.
Chill, dude. Is that what you said? Chill, dude? That's what they say to me all the time. Chill, dude.
But it's worse than you think. You think you know right and wrong? Then can you tell me what wrong is? No, don't just give me an example. I want to know about wrongness itself.
Ugh, jeez. Suffering. Suffering sucks. You cause suffering, then it's wrong. Yeah.
Idea of wrong. What is that idea? What makes something wrong? How do we...
Yeah, it just made, you know, it's like it'd be wrong to feel like crap. And so if you make something feel like crap, it's wrong. Yeah, it's just not.
We know that it's wrong. Maybe you and I disagree. Maybe one of us is wrong about the wrong. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's me. But we're...
Yeah, right. Just confuse it all. Make it all sound like it's a bunch of mush, right? The guy killed another guy. Might have just shot him in the fucking back. Who the fuck cares? It doesn't really fucking matter. The point is that he stepped across a line, a social contract line. It says you don't step across that line. Don't play with guns, fucker. You won't kill anybody.
Great opinions. Everyone's got an opinion. We are here for knowledge. Our enemy is thoughtlessness. This is philosophy. And something changed.
Oh, whatever. This is drama. This is not philosophy. Trust me. Philosophy looks entirely different. Lighting is entirely different for philosophy. This is drama.
This is for Tony. Could be I'm wrong. I'm tired of being wrong. I want to know what is wrong. I want to know what I know.
I want to know what I know. Whatever.
What Tony sees in that moment is the project of philosophy. The project that begins in wonder. What Kant called admiration and awe as a start.
Oh, who the fuck cares? Kant again. Kant. Fuck Kant in the ass in prison. Throw Kant in fucking prison. I'm sick of Kant.
The sky above and the moral law within. What can creatures like us know of such things? It is the project that always takes us back to the condition of existence, what Heidegger called the always already there.
Oh, not Heidegger. The always was, that was, the was when we were, what we were when we was. Yeah, that's philosophy. Right. This is so stupid.
It is the project of questioning what we believe and why we believe it. What Socrates called...
No, it's the questioning of what evidence do we have, what's a reasonable conclusion to draw based on the evidence that we have available to us now, and what's the reasonable prospect for any kind of counter conclusion. I mean, if we try with our hardest little imagination, can we come up with a scenario? Let's see, a future world where technology and human selfishness and competition combine harmoniously. Technology and human competitive, violent nature. Yeah, no, I don't think so. So, yeah, fail. It's going to fail. That's right. That's philosophy, fuckhead.
The examined life. Socrates, a man wise enough to know that he knows nothing. Socrates had died.
Yeah, well, Socrates, that's right, didn't know shit. He was really, really smart, though. I mean, you know, he figured out a lot of shit for somebody who didn't know shit. You know, he made one hell of a painting with his crayons.
Died in prison. His philosophy intact. So, Tony starts doing his homework. He learns his whys and wherefores, his causes and correlations, his logic, his fallacies. Turns out Tony's got the philosophy muscle. His body's in prison, but his mind is free. Tony learns about the ontologically promiscuous, the epistemologically anxious, the ethically dubious, the metaphysically ridiculous. That's Plato, Descartes, Nietzsche, and Bill Clinton. So...
Humor. Philosophy. Humor. Yeah.
When he gives me his final paper, in which he argues...
Final paper. Well, you know, the guy he killed isn't going to give you no final paper, is he? No.
That the categorical imperative is perhaps too uncompromising to deal with a conflict that infects our everyday and challenges me to tell him whether, therefore, we are condemned to moral failure. I say, I don't know. Let us think about that. Because in that moment, there's no mark by Tony's name. It's just the two of us standing there. It is not professor and convict. It is just two minds ready.
Professor and convict. Just the whole playing of the game. Just play with these people now. Just exploit something else. That's all you people are out to do, is exploit. What the fuck are you doing? Realistically. What does this add up to? What is the point of this nonsense? I'm going to go find... Why don't you do philosophy for the homeless next? And philosophy for the sugar addicts. And so philosophy for the morbidly obese. Yeah, why don't you exploit them all? Dwarf philosophy. Go talk to some dwarfs.
He did do philosophy, and I say to Tony, let's do this.
Yeah, well, thank you. Whatever this means. Thank you. Fuck you, idiot. That was really just showboaty bullshit. Nonsense, horror, awful. Audie Murphy Paul. What we learn. Let's see. Well, I might as well get there, right? Save you some time. Get rid of the intro. Mute it. Yeah, save us some time. Get rid of the applause. And such, and so forth, and whatnot. And then we'll get ready for the action to begin. One of 1,000 TED Talks. Wow, 1,000 plus.
My subject today is learning. And in that spirit,
wonderful.
I'm going to spring on you all a pop quiz.
Oh, cool.
Ready?
Yeah, I'm so ready.
When does learning begin?
Oh, I guess.
Now, as you ponder that question, maybe you're thinking about the first day of preschool or kindergarten, the first time...
Yeah, or, you know, like, right after the little thing infected your mommy's egg. Maybe you were learning before then. That's right. You were getting inundated by chemistry, and it was bludgeoning you, so I guess that's learning in a way. Right? Is that the game we're going to play now? Yes.
That kids are in a classroom with a teacher. Or maybe you've called to mind the toddler phase when children are learning how to walk and talk and use...
Oh, just get to it already. Yes, you're going to surprise us with the big whammy. You know, that we learned everything we needed to know before we were even born. No, I don't think we did. Didn't learn shit, actually. I don't even think it's called learning. I think it's just a pile of crap.
Or maybe you've encountered the 0 to 3 movement, which asserts that the most important years for learning are the earliest ones. And so your answer to my question would be, learning begins at birth.
Yeah, well, that's not going to be my answer. Now, you don't learn anything that really matters until you're able to put in some coherent contexts. And so you have to have real knowledge to do that. So there's nothing you can learn if you're an ignoramus. If you're really dumb and you don't understand the context and you won't learn anything correct, you will not do learning. You'll do the opposite of learning. You will do stupiding. You will do retarding. You will do moroning, but you won't be doing learning because you'll have no context. You'll have nowhere to put this stuff on the right shelf. You'll be putting everything on the wrong fucking shelf. You got to build the bookcase before you can put the books on it. Yeah.
Well, today I want to present to you an idea that may be surprising, that may even seem implausible.
Yes, and it may be demonstratable to be implausible. I'll see. I might be able to demonstrate it to be implausible right off the top of my head. Yeah, I think I will be.
But which is supported by the latest evidence from psychology and biology.
Oh, yes, that is you, right? That's the way that works, right? You say so. Okie dokie.
And that is that some of the most important learning we ever do happens before we're born. Well,
want to make a bet? Yeah, I think that's just a crock of shit. Really? I don't think you learn how to get a woman out of her panties before you're born. I mean, what the fuck is so fucking important that you learn? I mean, really? You learn how to walk? No. Talk? No. You learn language? No. What the fuck do you... Oh, yeah, you don't learn shit.
We're still in the womb. Now, I'm a science reporter. I write books and magazine articles.
Oh, great. You're a science reporter. Like, that means something like you're a whore for advertisers. Cool. That gives you instant credibility. Okay.
And I'm also a mother.
Oh, disgusting. You stupid tramp. Moron, retard, fuckwit.
Two roles came together for me in a book that I wrote called Origins. Origins is a report from the front lines of an exciting new field called fetal origins.
Fetal origins. What the fuck is this shit?
Origins is a scientific discipline that emerged just about 2 decades ago.
Super
and it's
cool.
Based on the theory that our health and well-being throughout our lives is crucially affected by the 9 months we spend in the womb.
Oh, whatever. Yeah, right. So, I mean, you can do damage to eggs, you can do damage to sperms, and you can do damage to fetuses by starving them. And so, yeah, you can do damage. Big woo. Really. No brain surgery, no rocket science knowledge required to figure that one out. That the incubator, if you don't have it plugged in all the way, it's not getting enough electricity, then it ain't going to incubate quite right.
Now, this theory was of more than just intellectual interest to me. I was myself pregnant while I was doing the research for the book.
Very exciting.
And one of the most fascinating insights I took from this work is that we're all learning about the world even before we enter it. When we hold our babies for the first time...
Oh, please, will you get to something called a relevant fucking fact?
We might imagine that they're clean slates, unmarked by life, when in fact they've already been shaped by us and by the particular world we live in.
Oh, by this logic, right, you could just sit there and go through every single event through pregnancy and then go right to the birth and say, okay, well, it's too traumatic to use the little grabber spoons on the kid's head to pull them out of the womb, or it's too harsh to turn it, so let's just slit them, all the women open. Let's force them to have a cesarean, just so they don't cram that poor little baby through that little hole. And that big gaping hole in some cases.
Today I want to share with you some of the amazing things that scientists are discovering
get to
about
it.
what fetuses
Get
learn
to it.
while they're
Get to
still...
it. Yeah, what? They learn profoundly, just, socially meaningful crap like up and down or sloshy, right? They learn sloshy.
Their mother's bellies. First of all, they learn the sound of their mother's voices. Because sounds from the outside world have to travel through the mother's abdominal tissue and through the amniotic fluid.
Right, and they hear that, they already did this, 30 years ago on TV. They had little cameras up there, and they did the boom, 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 the heart beating, boom, 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 boom. Yeah, really exciting.
Surrounds the fetus. The voices fetuses hear, starting around the 4th month of gestation, are muted and muffled. One researcher says that they probably sound a lot like the voice.
Yeah, one researcher said probably. Wonderful. Why, that, you can't dispute a fact that's solid. Probably. Yep.
Of Charlie Brown's teacher in the old Peanuts cartoon. But the pregnant woman's own voice reverberates through her body, reaching the fetus much more readily. And because the fetus...
Proof of that? Where? Where's the proof of that? Huh? Proof? Proof? That the sound somehow vibrates? No. Well, maybe she can hear it through her lungs.
Is with her all the time. It hears her voice a lot.
Well, who cares?
Once the baby's born,
Doesn't
it
know
recognizes her voice, and it prefers listening to her voice.
Oh, whatever. I mean, isn't this important? Right. So it pays more attention to the voice of the thing that it's inside the belly of that it hears more often. It recognizes a voice. It's like a dog recognizing your voice over somebody else's voice. This is fucking profound. This is profound. No, it isn't.
Over anyone else's. How can we know this? Newborn babies can't do much, but one thing they're really good at is sucking. Researchers take advantage of this fact by rigging up 2 rubber nipples so that if a baby sucks on one, it hears a recording of its mother's voice on a pair of headphones, and if it sucks on the other nipple, it hears a recording of a female stranger's voice.
Oh, and it somehow has recognized the 2 voices. Amazing. Amazing, 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 amazing. Spend 9 months inside the woman's body, and this is supposed to somehow be interesting to someone.
Babies quickly show their preference by choosing the first one. Scientists also take advantage.
I'd love to see this science, actually. I'd love to hear the 2 voices, too. That would be interesting. You know, get some, like, Long Island, you know. So that would be interesting. It would be interesting to have women of different accents and then have 2 different kinds of voices. And, yeah, I wonder how well done this research was. And how much the voice sounded anything like the voice that the baby actually heard, which was, as you pointed out, rah, 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 rah.
Of the fact that babies will slow down their sucking when something interests them and resume their fast sucking when they get bored.
Oh, this sucks. This sucks. This sucks.
This is how researchers discovered that after women repeatedly read aloud a section of Dr. Seuss's The Cat and the Hat while they were pregnant, their newborn babies recognized that passage when they heard it outside the womb.
Fuck that. Prove
My
it.
favorite experiment of this kind
Let's hear it.
is the one that showed that the babies of women who watched a certain soap opera every day during pregnancy recognized the theme song of that show once they
the theme song. That's right. So, okay. Yeah, we probably had it turned up really loud. Ugh, this is horrible. Look at all these men in this audience. These are all men. But they're all falling asleep. That guy's asleep. That guy's barely hanging in there. This guy's nodded off entirely.
They were born. So fetuses are even learning about the particular language that's spoken in the world that...
Oh, it's just so fucking interesting. I just can't hold back my...
I'll be born into. A study published last year found that from the moment of birth, babies cry in the accent of their mother's native language. French babies cries end on a rising note, while German babies end on a falling note, imitating the melodic contours of those languages.
And who analyzed this? You've got to be kidding me. You really got to be kidding me. And so if they had broken English, what did they do then?
Now, why would this kind of fetal learning be useful?
That's right.
It may have evolved to aid the baby's survival.
Oh, it's whatever. This is just this is number one, you don't show me any of this proof, this evidence. And number two, again, what the fuck? Yeah, it's a developing fetus. It learns how to move its hands. It learns how to do lots of things. Suck its thumb. It sucks its thumb in the womb. So what?
From the moment of birth, the baby responds most to the voice of the person who is most likely to care for it.
I mean, the challenge you put here is where do we do our most important learning? That was the challenge at the beginning of this video. You think this shit is important? It matters at all? If I put a baby in the child of a deaf woman, that somehow that child's going to be somehow changed in some way because it doesn't hear its mommy's voice?
Its mother. It even makes its cries sound like the mother's language, which may further endear the baby to the mother, and which may give the baby a head start in the critical task of learning how to understand and speak its native language.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it says, well, if the baby don't sound like me, I'm going to throw it in the fucking river.
But it's not just sounds that fetuses are learning about in utero.
Whatever.
It's also tastes and smells. By 7 months of gestation, the fetus's taste buds are fully developed, and its olfactory receptors, which allow it to smell, are functioning.
Yeah, but its brain isn't doing shit. I mean, its brain is fucking noodle-roni, alright? It's not wired.
The flavors of the food a pregnant woman eats find their way into the amniotic fluid, which is continuously swallowed by the fetus.
You're proving that one, too?
Babies seem to remember and prefer these tastes once they're out in the world. In one experiment, a group of pregnant women was asked to drink a lot of carrot juice during their third trimester of pregnancy, while another group of pregnant women, drank only water.
There we go.
6 months later, the women...
I bet you the women who were supposed to be drinking water didn't drink just water. I bet you they didn't.
Infants were offered cereal mixed with carrot juice, and their facial expressions were observed at
this is just pitiful.
They ate it. The offspring of the carrot juice drinking women ate more carrot-flavored cereal, and from the looks of it, they seemed to enjoy it more.
From the looks of it, they seem to enjoy it more. Because they analyze the facial expressions of fucking goddamn tubby maggots.
A sort of French version of this experiment was carried out in Dijon, France.
Oh, fuck the human
where
race.
Researchers found that mothers who consumed food and drink flavored with licorice-flavored anise during pregnancy showed a preference for anise on their first day of life, and again when they were tested later on their fourth day of life. Babies whose mothers did not eat anise during...
Well, what about the 7th day, or the 400th day, or the 7 million years later? They killed everybody in France because they had an anise deprivation.
Pregnancy showed a reaction that translated roughly as yuck. What this means is that fetuses are effectively being taught by their mothers about what is safe and good to eat.
Oh, whatever. That's what's being taught. Okay, so let's go through all the foods that we eat and the subtlety of them all, and make any sense out of this. I mean, you're not going to be able to do that. No fucking way.
Fetuses are also being taught about the particular culture that they'll be joining through one of culture's most powerful expressions, which is food. They're being introduced to the characteristic flavors and spices of their culture's cuisine even before birth.
Oh, whatever. Cultural cuisines and all this other mumbo jumbo. This is somehow important. This means something to anybody? No, this is just bullshit. I'm going to have to jump. I'm going to go a minute at a time. It's just too boring. Who
idiosyncratic
cares?
as the woman herself. The fetus incorporates these offerings into its own body, makes them part of its flesh and blood. And often it does something more. It treats these maternal contributions as information, as what I like to call biological postcards from the world outside.
Whatever.
Brain and other organs are part of what give us humans our enormous flexibility, our ability to thrive in a huge variety of environments, from the country to the city, from the tundra to the desert. To conclude, I want to tell you 2 stories about how mothers teach their children about the world even before they're born.
Yeah, sorry. No,
In
that's
the
not what you're
autumn
going to do.
of 1944, the darkest days of World War II,
Let's
German
go.
troops blockaded Western Holland,
It's not the darkest days.
turning away all shipments of food. The opening of the Nazis' siege was followed by one of the harshest winters in decades, so cold the water
Let's
end
go.
when Holland was liberated by the Allies. the hunger winter, as it came to be known, killed some 10,000 people and weakened thousands more. But there was another population that was affected, the 40,000 fetuses in utero during the siege. Some of the effects of malnutrition during pregnancy were immediately apparent in higher rates of stillbirths, birth defects,
Oh, duh. This is
profiles,
duh.
and
Duh.
reduced glucose tolerance, a precursor of diabetes. Why would undernutrition in the womb result in disease later?
Oh, I mean, can we ask a stupider question? Is it possible? Why don't you just ask me, why are God's sandals flat on the bottom? Jesus.
The meals a pregnant woman consumes constitute a kind of story, a fairy tale of abundance or a grim chronicle of deprivation. This story...
Oh, whatever, of abundance. Isn't that a cute way to put it? No, of just satisfactory to get the job done, to get the little tadpole on its way. Jeez, abundance. It struggles, it fights, it barfs through its the first whatever.
Of the post-war Western diet. The world they had learned about while in utero was not the same as the world into which they were born. Here's another story.
Oh, please, no.
At 8:46 a.m. on September 11th, 2001, there were tens of thousands of people in the vicinity of the World Trade Center in New York.
Yes,
Commuters
get to
spilling
it.
off trains.
Look at to it.
Waitresses setting tables for the morning rush.
Yeah, blah, 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 blah.
Brokers already working the phones. On
Yeah,
Wall
then
Street.
everything went all crappy.
1,700 of these people were pregnant women. When the plane struck and the towers collapsed, many of these women experienced the same horrors inflicted on other survivors of the disaster. The overwhelming chaos and confusion, the rolling clouds of potentially toxic dust and debris,
Get to it.
the heart-pounding fear for their
Get
lives.
to it.
About a year after 9/11, researchers examined a group of women who were pregnant when they were exposed to the World Trade Center.
Yeah, I just wonder how good this science is, right? Where's the research? Are you going to list any of it in here? No, there's probably nothing in here. Just a bunch of crap. That's right, crap. Thank you.
In the babies of those women who developed post-traumatic stress syndrome, or PTSD, following their ordeal, researchers discovered a biological marker of susceptibility to PTSD, an effect that was most pronounced in infants whose mothers experienced the catastrophe in their third trimester. In other words, the mothers with post-traumatic stress syndrome...
So that they're basically just saying, so the mothers who were hysterical ninny nannies had kids who were hysterical ninny nannies. Okay, good. Thank you. I'm glad you cleared that up.
had passed on a vulnerability to the condition to their children while they were still in utero. Now consider this. Post-traumatic stress syndrome appears to be a reaction to stress gone very...
It appears to be a word made up about 7 days ago. It doesn't have anything to do with reality at all. It's just a fucking word to describe people who have really bad reactions to stressful conditions. Yeah.
wrong, causing its victims tremendous unnecessary suffering. But there's another way
Yeah, well, this video did some of that, I'm afraid.
of thinking about PTSD. What looks like pathology to us may actually be a useful adaptation in some circumstances. In a particularly dangerous environment...
Yeah, right. We can all speculate about the advantages of having certain kinds of genetic heritage, and that could also goes for things like suicide or death or being violent and being way too aggressive, that there might be circumstances where that would be advantageous. But as civilized human beings, we say, no, those are bullshit circumstances, don't have anything to do with the current reality, and so this whole mimbly-bibbly-babbly-boo bullshit doesn't mean a goddamn thing. This is not interesting.
The characteristic manifestations of PTSD, a hyper-awareness of one's surroundings, a quick trigger response to danger.
All relative to the slow-moving zombies that we live on planet Earth with, the people who just suck anything, who will eat anything. They eat fucking food that fed on their own shit. I mean, come on. So this is all just relative, right? Relative to these creatures we call humanity.
Could save someone's life.
Blah, blah,
The
blah, blah,
notion
blah.
that the
You can
prenatal
prolong a life,
transmission
can't
of
save it.
PTSD risk is adaptive is still speculative.
That's
What I
right.
find
Sounds
is
like
rather
bullshit.
poignant.
No, I find it very pointless and useless and whatever. Stress is stress, and body's equipped to it, and yes, we adapt to circumstances that might be in our own interest to get the fuck out of a stressful circumstance. Who knows?
It would mean that even before birth, mothers are warning their children. of the
Maybe,
wild world
possibly,
out there,
could be,
telling them, "Be
possibly.
careful."
No, that's not what. You see, I mean, that's science, right? Mothers are warning, blah, blah, blah. No. There's a biological reaction, okay? And a biological reaction has an implication on a fetus. Duh. Just fucking duh. There's no informing, there's no educating, there's no doing anywhere in this. Ugh, pitiful.
Let me be clear. Fetal origins research is not about blaming women for what happens during pregnancy.
Well, guess what? So yeah, just take the whole edge off of everything you just fucking said, okay? Because there's no point in it. There's no point in you saying it matters and then saying, but it's okay if you don't pay any attention and totally fuck up. That doesn't make any sense. You can't say it's the most important period of time in your life is when you're in the womb, and then say, but it doesn't matter. Go ahead. Slap the little fucker.
It's about discovering how best to promote the health and well-being of the next generation.
Well, I guess that would be by taking care of it versus not taking care of it and giving it everything it needs and trying to satisfy. Oh, but that's right. Then you'll spoil it. You know? I mean, spare the voicalizations, spoil the child or something like that. But, you know, that's the whole problem, right? Maybe if you talk to it too much, you make it too comfortable and it won't be ready for the real world.
That important effort must include a focus on what fetuses learn during the 9 months they spend in the womb.
They don't learn shit.
Learning is one of life's
No.
most essential activities,
Yeah, and that's not what fetuses are doing.
and it begins much earlier than we ever imagined.
No, it doesn't. It begins much later, apparently, but some people go through their whole fucking life and can't figure out what it is that's important to learn and what is just complete nonsense, rubbish, gibberish, crap.
Thank you.
No, you're not welcome. Horrible, 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 horrible. Horrible. I hate Ted. I hate you, Ted. Anyway, enough of this. Alright, well that's good. I got 2 of them done. But yeah, these are all long. I mean, I'm going to be this is going to take forever.